Test, 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 test. How we doing? Is this working? Good morning. How we doing? Previously on Kimba TV. So it would have been different if it was changing structure and or certain levels were able to hold, but it completely not. Dip the tip would have been the best way to start off RTH. So in an alternate universe, we could have been in the long if it wanted to go, and we know exactly what the entry would have been, right? It would have been the open. And the stop loss would have been the lower low. So if it wanted to pump and go, we were ready for it. But also the higher probability failed missile launch. When I juice, y'all juice, all right? Let's get this shmoney, Lions. Y'all ready? I haven't touched those limit TPs in so long. Yeah. Baby Cutchoy says, what is the 30-second TA today? Let's look for shorts. 79.5. So, I mean, it would be, let's look for something interesting around here. I doubt it would be like that. I think it'll be higher. But yeah, something like that. Yeah, but the most important thing, Baby Kachoy, is that you would have been able to figure that out on your own. Do you understand that that's the high probability play? So as long as you can understand that, that's the most important thing. So, but we would probably be looking for shorts. The only thing that could maybe change something, Baby Kachoy, is if they say that we're going to do a 90-day pause on tariffs or some shit like that. But, yeah, like I think you would be looking for a bearish retest. So it's a matter of where you would consider the bearish retest. Alrighty, so we got 26 minutes. Let's see what we got here. We got CPI tomorrow. So I would love to get like a long tomorrow on an initial move as debate. So it really hasn't changed since Monday. Hey Blade, what's going on? Alper, what's going on? JV says it's not going to be that easy. No way. We'll find out. Maybe it will be because everybody thinks that it won't be that way. It's always the opposite of what the average person thinks. $25 minutes, you good? Yeah, I mean, after Monday, bro, anything is possible. Omar says, what do you usually try to eat for breakfast? I've had the same breakfast for like 8 years, bro. I chug egg whites and oatmeal. I'm actually eating the little bit of my oatmeal right now. Baby Kachoy says 79.5 short. Got it. It's not really. It's like 79.5 through 80,000, you know? Do you have the levels identified? And then we're not going to put blind limits in. What would be the edge that you're going to anticipate? What's the structure? How are you going to play it? Crypto Jammy says, hoping to get a deposit today and be set up for CPI juice. That's awesome. Ozuzi says, if BTC reaches 78150, I'm getting filled for a what? Short? It'll go higher. So just be careful. You want shorts open interest to go down most likely to take the short. So maybe around 7, somewhere between like 79 and 80. Crypto Clown says, can you elaborate some on how you decide whether to pay attention to open interest versus it's more about S&P. It's always going to be about S&P, I think. So I'll always prioritize S&P, and the open interest, if it works out and it lines up in my favor, then that's awesome. If it doesn't, not that big of a deal. But I would never look at open interest as a foundation for a trade. It's always like a supplement to a trade that I was already going to take anyways. So like right now, for example, Crypto Clown, can you tell that there are bottom shorters? So, people like basically shorting this. I don't know how people end up doing stupid shit like that, but it's happening. So everybody that's short right there, you need them to get stopped out. And roughly speaking, mathematically, volume node, value, you're looking at somewhere in this box. Isn't that crazy? It's almost like self-prophesizing, because we drew this box a long time ago. And weeks later, there are people bottom shorting, prophesizing themselves to get stopped out right in the box. So I don't know. I mean, we can't predict the future. You guys do know, for example, that if Trump does a press conference and he says, psych, we're not going to do tariffs. At a minimum, we're going to do a 90-day pause because I'm such a great negotiator and all the countries want to renegotiate with America. So we're going to pause the tariffs for 90 days. You know that we're going to fly, right? So just be careful. Got to keep our head on a swivel. Mandaloo says, let's clean the low before that. I know, me too. That's what I'm thinking. I would fucking love like CPI, tariff pause, FOMC to all fall the way that I want. That would be crazy.
But what's popping?
Arc Soul says, hello, new guy on the channel. Do you hunt today for a short around 79K? So Arc Soul, what I would recommend that you do is you head on over to the YouTube and you go to the simulcast and you rewatch today's stream from the very beginning. So a lot of people are already in shorts on the swing fail. If this gets stopped out, and I think, it probably will, we're going to be looking for a little bit higher. Okay? I would love to get the single print. Do you know what a single print is? So I think a little bit higher than 79 would be preferable. But since we're above value area high and VWAP, I'm going to want a failed auction or a swing fail. So remember, we don't put blind limits in. We're not going to just try to predict the future. Okay? We're going to short or long edge and data. All right? Not necessarily just random levels. So you need to be able to look at, EXO or open interest or CVD or S&P, and you need to be able to articulate why you're actually going to be taking the short or the long. All righty? So just like how, it made sense to think about getting into shorts earlier, the same data would need to be applicable. But yeah, I would love like that single print to get grabbed. I put a box up there, so let's see. But obviously the time and when it's going to do it would matter as well. All right, so I would love single print grab and then come back down. Same thing with ES. I would love single print grab and come down and go.
All right.
I'm thinking about doing a S&P short. In this, well, like that, I guess. Well. Let's go, Lions! Let's get that juice! Let's get that juice! It's a cut joy! It's a cut joy, chat! VWAP! Can we give it up for VWAP? Can we give it up for useless lines, chat? It's too easy. Mathematical. It's a Costco hot dog. Let's get it. S&P. It's a cut joint. Let's go. The math is the math. The juice is the juice. Don't get got. It's lettuce time, boys. Green positions. Green P&L. Green Bugatti. It's a cut joint. It's a cut joint. Let's go. Let's go, Lions. Do you believe in the math? Quit playing with me. Quit playing with me. It's too easy. Talk to me. Talk to me. Give me that papink. Give me that papink. Give Poppy Bugatti the papink. S&P, it's too easy. Quit playing with me. S&P, it's too easy. Quit playing with me. How many of y'all were there when I said I might have to do a big SM poo-poo? Boy, quit playing with me, chat. Quit playing with me. It's too easy, boy. Quit playing with me. Quit playing with me, chat. Get nasty on them, Lions. You either know what you're doing or you don't. You either know what you're doing or you don't. Let's go. It's time to juice. What the fuck did we talk about? The only people confused are the motherfuckers that did not watch the highlights. Let's go. Let's go. It's too easy, chat. It's too easy, chat. Pixel, 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 ka-choy. Come on. Come on, chat. Come on, chat. We already talked about it. Are you ready? Are you ready? 6 minutes, 30 seconds on the 30-minute candle close. You either know what you're doing or you don't, chat. Show me you know what you're doing, chat. Show me you know what you're doing, chat. Are you ready? Chat. Light it up. Green P&L, green positions, green Bugatti. Light it up. Ka-choya, 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 ka-choya. Let's get it. 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 Ka-choya. Let's go. It's too easy. Ka-choy. King Kokax says, fuck man, I shorted very early. That's okay. I feel like we said do not put blind limits in so many times. So if you did it, I mean, it's, you know, it's all Gucci. But for me, like, it's always about identifying levels, man. So, do you remember what kind of structural edge I wanted to see? Let's go, boy. Hey, quit playing with me. Chat. Quit playing with me, chat. It's a cut joint. Hey, y'all gotta be, come on, boy. Do know, for example, that if Trump does a press conference and he says, psych, we're not going to do tariffs, at a minimum, we're going to do a 90-day pause because I'm such a great negotiator and all the countries want to renegotiate with America.
You just said.
So we're going to pause the tariffs for 90 days. You know that we're going to fly, right? Harold? Do know, for example, that if Trump does a press conference and he says, psych, we're not going to do tariffs, at a minimum, we're going to do a 90-day pause because I'm such a great negotiator and all the countries want to renegotiate with America.
You just said.
So we're going to pause the tariffs for 90 days. You know that we're going to fly, right? Harold! The fuck we just say, boy? Harold! Too easy, chat. Let's go. Let's go, Kachaya. Let's go. Stop the music. King Kokak says, Kimba, do you think we get any pullbacks from here? For sure. There's imbalances and single prints to the downside. Do you see them? They're actually right around, coincidentally, the level that we were interested in thinking about shorting earlier, before it started to proceed to clean the highs, right? I would be really suspicious if it's going to give the whole thing back tomorrow. So tomorrow's pivot point will be where it started to pump, like right when the news came out. Yeah, because you would be thinking, okay, conceptually, we could be just doing a bullish retest and it just completely fails. So let it just kind of do its thing and rally and wait to see where the settlement is for both S&P and Bitcoin today. And then let's show up early as fuck tomorrow. CPI comes out an hour before U.S. markets. So, yeah, it either confirms the move, initial move is debate, we'll long the dump, or we'll short the pump. Either way, somebody's going to get got tomorrow. It's not going to be us. So, yeah, now more than ever, I would be interested to play the initial move as debate. All right, and what we'll do is we'll just throw in levels, and we'll just continue to see. Like, we don't get bullish on penetration. We get bullish on retest. And those things have, been tried and tested, and it's why they exist. So we'll continue to take it level by level, but yeah, I would be careful about longing a pullback. So, but that 79.5 or the same area that we were thinking about shorting, right? Will that be a bullish retest? Yes or no? We'll find out. Okay. Unleashed says it's funny to see where we are perfectly back to where we were before Liberation Day. I mean, dude. If I was Xi Jinping or whatever, I would straight up be like, manipulation. Wambalan says, if you were just trying to get into ETH to hold for a long time, when would you be trying to get in? Well, I wish you asked me that question days and weeks ago, because the other lions can tell you, but I've been looking at these levels for hella long, bro. So I had this for Sol. This. All of this. And really specifically like this. Invalidation. So really, like it's level to level. So point of control, but also the sweep, value area low. Obviously, losing that, you're gonna clean all of that. So I think ETH could go lower, Bitcoin could go lower, but like I already got filled on some spot and derivative longs on like maybe 7 or 8 altcoins already. But just like how we talked about with Sol, for example, right? Obviously, I would love this to go here. But we got to be careful for something like that. Because you would want that. So lots of work to do. Posty says, plan still the same? I'm just sitting on my hands right now. It depends, Posty. Like, are you trying to look for a short or are you looking for a long? And did the idea of getting a 90-day tariff pause even cross your mind? Or is that something that is just completely catching you off guard? Because if that's catching you off guard, then you might need a day or two. I don't know if you want to, play tomorrow. I was actually hoping for a 90-day pause tomorrow. So, but it does not, surprise me that they would do this last minute. Posty says, looking for a short, so like a swing fail of something on initial move as a debate is probably your best bet tomorrow. Because at least you would know where your entry is and where your invalidation would be. But sometimes, even if a trade setup looks good, it's not good to take it if you don't know where the invalidation would be, because the whole point is to manage risk. So, if you're looking for a short, then the best thing would be to wait until tomorrow. If you're looking for a long, then it would be basically resistance turning into support. So the level that we were looking at and thinking about shorting, the 79.5 through 80,000, you would be waiting to see if there's a bullish retest over there. Same thing with ES, basically. So, and some of these things, like, okay, it just hit VWAP. So some of these things would be like, are you going to still take it if it's not with RTH? Are you going to take it if it's during Macaulay? Yeah, but it's a 90-day tariff pause. And the other thing, too, is like, if you didn't know that he could do a 90-day tariff pause, you might not know that he can cancel the 90-day tariff pause. So, just kind of make sure that you're understanding how to finesse your way through the CPI, PPI. All right, big dog. Green Finger says, Kimba, when you get stopped out at a loss, when you enter and it doesn't give you the chance to get stopped in profit, what's your average percentage loss? I understand it's relative to what leverage you use. Just wanted to know a ballpark percentage. Is there a trade example you can give me? The easiest one, like, do you want to talk about if people put blind limits in and got ran over right there? Because that one's really easy. So first things first is no matter what you do on this short, you cannot get stopped out where, Green Finger? You can't be the dumbass that gets stopped out of the single print. So that means that your stop for any short has to be before the single print, right? So you like, this is dumb level. Any dumb knows that you can't, it's got to be before the single prints start. Okay, now you're looking at these highs. Those are all bad highs that we've been talking about, right? So you got to get in before the fucking cascade starts. So like this. So like worst case, your stop loss is right there. You do not want to get in the fucking mess of the fucking sweep, right? So if you were going to take blind limits, which I specifically said don't do, but if you said fuck it, you were only risking, let's say, 80,000, 79,950 ends up being your like average entry, you're risking $200, $300. So there you go. But it depends on the situation, but that's by the book, is it not? So, I mean, why would you put your stop loss in the middle of bad highs? And you're not supposed to put your stop loss. You're not supposed to be the dumbass that gets stopped out in the single prints. So you got to do it before. So at worst case scenario, if you decided to put blind limits here, you were really only risking 200, 300 at most. So, but it always depends. But I mean, just let the math kind of guide you on where you're supposed to do what. So yeah, like on that one, if you put blind limits in and you got straight ran over, pa-pink, right before the bad highs start to get swept, right? Right before this guy, right before this guy. Baby Kachoy says, my short bias failed me today. That's okay. But Baby Kachoy, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about having good or bad risk management, right? So did you hear what I was saying earlier today? If you were going to short, we had the 79.5 to 80,000, right? Like the point of control is right there, right at 80,000. Where's your stop? Like I said, don't put blind limits in, but let's just say you said, fuck it. And you said, I'm going to put blind limits in. I'm going to gamble and I'm going to try to predict the future. Even if you put blind limits in right here, your stop loss is right here, dude. Because those are all shitty highs. So why would you want to be in the liquidation cascade? Get stopped out before you trigger that domino piece, right? So even if you had a entry of 79825, the point of control, your stop loss is 80103. It's a $200 risk per coin because like you're not supposed to get stopped out at the single prints. So either you're getting stopped out right here or you're getting stopped out right there. I think that's a pretty big ass no-brainer, right? And you can't get stopped out right there because those are all the bad highs. You got to start before the cascade starts. So if you took a shot, no big deal, at least you had good risk management and, but it's a lot easier to wait for 30-minute structure though, is it not? Yeah. And it's like what we were talking about before. You blindly shorted right when the president said 90-day tariff pause. And that's exactly what we were talking about to be careful for. So really, you gambled. You weren't really trading. I don't know what kind of edge you had at that moment to take a short. So you didn't get structure. You didn't get, you didn't have a hidden bear div or anything like that. You didn't have S&P confluence. You really didn't have S&P confluence with tariff pause. So that's okay. But the loss should have been very, very minimal. And if anything, the real juice is, wow, maybe I should stop putting blind limits in the day before CPI. But even if you did put blind limits in, you're talking about $200, $300 at the most being risked per coin. So it's not the end of the world. Yeah? You okay? So this is one of those where you cannot have a failed auction. Otherwise, you're going to fall all the way probably down full rotate on value. Okay? So, like if it pumps and it starts to do like a swing fail or a failed auction and it's low volume and it's got a hidden bear div and it's got a bunch of longs opening at the top and a bunch of shorts getting squeezed, then that's probably going to be a good short. If it dumps first and it goes to the single print and it's a hidden bull div and a whole bunch of longs got stopped out, especially if it does like a trident off of my box. So it bounces off of box, it goes lower, it comes back, bounces off of box again. I'm also in that long too. So like easy day-to-day sort of scalps. And both of those ideas, whether it's a swing fail or a value area high rotate a short or a long off of the single print, I'm going to be aggressive and put my stop loss at break even. So if I can get lucky and get filled and also not get round tripped before it goes, then I might juice up a little bit. But the most important thing for me tomorrow is I just want to be able to do the right thing in the face of temptation. And I don't want to get got. If you've been following along the last couple of days and weeks with me, you know what I'm thinking in terms of higher time frame, medium time frame, and smaller time frame, you know? But hands up if you were here in the morning when we were kind of goofing off, but also kind of being serious, talking about the tariff 90-day pause. What the fuck was that, man? Guys. I mean, what the fuck, man? Obviously, today was the beginning of the tariffs, so it would make sense that he could renege today, but hey, and the motherfucker actually paused it. Bring. So, you just gotta be flexible with it, chat. You gotta be flexible with it, chat. You gotta be flexible with it. But if you're talking to me about altcoin season, if you're talking to me about is it too late, if you're talking to me about is the bottom possibly in,
There. Yes.
what you're really doing is we're just front running rate cuts. You know, the day before CPI, the day before GDP, the day before FOMC, dude, they do some weird shit, and I end up getting debated. So what I learned over time was if it's any quick little volatile shit, it doesn't matter what it is, I need to be patient and see what the next day brings. So I've been through many CPIs and GDPs and FOMCs where a lot of, somebody that I should have been able to trust came out and did some shit, and lo and behold, it was just debate for the day to come after. So I'm a big level to level guy. If you want to talk about like this, I think this is pretty fucking cool, man. Shout outs to, if you were here when we drew this box. But if you go back to this day, we were talking about I would have preferred to have this. And so to see that now and pretty much be pixel perfect, and you know how much I love CME, right? I mean, goddamn. I've said it before, but I can totally understand being in a long from 75. Like, no doubt, that's Gucci Magucci. Just sucks that low is ass. It just sucks that S&P is low as ass. So, if I whiffed on that long at 75,000 on CME, and that's possible, that's okay. I'm going to be looking for bullish retests on value area high and single print tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, it should be able to hold shit like that real easy. Okay? Math and stuff like that lines up pretty easily, you know, whether it's there or maybe it goes up a little bit higher to the 85.5 zone and then it's a pullback. A lot of golden pocket, a lot of 0.5, a lot of single print, a lot of VWAP. Yeah, so we'll see how the first 30-minute candle close opens up when the numbers come out. I mean, we'll see how the numbers come out, but we'll see how the first 30-minute candle closes. That's going to be phase 2, right? Phase 1 is going to be the futures markets just trading. Phase 2 is futures markets reacting to the number. And then phase 3 is going to be RTH and at the actual US market open reacting to the number. So you know how to look for initial move as a debate. You know how to look for anticipatory divs and open interest. And we'll do our best. And if you fuck up on, or not fuck up, but if you miss or whiff on the trade on the first one, you can always wait for the RTH gap and go. Because if it really is bullish or if it really is bearish, that bullish gap or that bearish gap is going to continue its momentum. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow. I cannot wait to see what this gap could potentially look like. Chef, calling noob, Yanthro, Latisse. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow. Longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, Bears, we're all lying. Santo, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss. He's gonna get you, chat. He's gonna get you.